Welcome back to the Hybrid Athlete Dad podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to go over hybrid athlete training tips specifically for strength and endurance. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to share a couple of stories with the audience out there listening. One being on Wednesdays, I like to go out and I like to go do a nice track workout. The way that track workout looks is I'll go do 1 mile easy, I'll do half mile hard, half mile easy, half mile hard, half mile easy, and then I'll do 1 lap hard, 1 lap easy, 1 lap hard, 1 lap easy, and then a 2 mile cool down. The issue that I had been running into is I was running 3 times a week, but at a very consistent pace. So I knew that I wanted to go faster during races when I choose to. I noticed that really wasn't being the case because I'm running 3 times a week and running the same exact speed, running about the same miles. That's when I discovered tempo running, which is where I don't want to do this every single time I run because I believe I would just burn my legs out. And I wouldn't say that I'm doing an all out sprint on those 2 laps, but I do like to make them a lot quicker. So to preface it, I was going out and doing this in the afternoon. It was super hot out, probably upper 80s. It was about 80 to 90% humidity. And this particular track where I'm running, it's just a high school track. There's no shade around. It is just, you're out in the open and you're just running laps and laps and laps. And this was honestly the first time that I had ever felt this. I had gone through and I was 4 miles into this 6 mile workout. And the last 2 miles were just going to be an easy 2 mile cool down. I had never felt as hot as I have on a track before. That day I looked down, my heart rate was like 188, 190, significantly higher than what I would like it to be. Even though it is a tempo workout and you know your heart rate's going to be higher, that was definitely a little too high for me. So what I ended up doing is I would walk 200 meters, then I would run 200 meters, walk 200 meters, run 200 meters. So I did that. I finished those 2 miles doing it that way. I got home, and about an hour later, I was just very disappointed in myself because I've done this track workout a couple of different times before, and I've been able to run the entire 6 miles. So you know what I did? I got ready. I got in the car. I drove back to the track. Luckily, it's just right down the road from me. Hopped on the track and then ran those final 2 miles. And I think that's really what allows you to push yourself when it comes to whether you're training, whether you're training just in the gym, whether you're training outside, is pushing yourself when it gets tough. Having an hour cool down where I'm just not running at all, I'm just being stationary, to now I'm hopping back in the car and running these final final 2 miles at the track. Obviously not the easiest to do, but I know that I was going to be pushing myself. And I know that if my daughter comes to me, she's like, oh, I'm having a hard time doing something, I can point out to this story. I ran 4 out of the 6 miles, and then I had to jog and walk, and that's never happened to me before. But then I became so frustrated and determined to run those last 2 miles that I got in the car, went back to the track, and ran those 2 miles. Yeah, my legs were super stiff and they were sore. And I think that first mile I ran as the fastest mile that I ever had. And I believe it was like a 7-minute mile, which is really fast. For myself, I'm usually averaging 8.5, 9 minutes a mile. And then the second mile was about that 8.5, 9 minutes. I kind of hit the wall there. I think I started off definitely a little too fast, but I was just very determined to run those last 2 miles. And then the second story that I want to share with you is, for those of you who have kids, you know what the process is like when they're going out there and their teeth are coming in and they're teething. And this typically happens every time our daughter gets a new tooth in. She has about 9 teeth right now, and I believe this one's going to be her 10th. Long story short, this was that Wednesday night after I had ran. I was pretty exhausted. I was beat down. And I should also mention on Wednesday mornings is when I do my leg day. So my legs were already cooked on top of doing this tempo workout. That's just the way I structure my day on Wednesdays. So I know I need to get a good night, a full night of sleep. And what I ended up doing is going to bed like normal. Everything's good to go. About 1 a.m., our daughter wakes up. She's crying. Have to go in there, try to rock her. And for us, we'll rock our daughter, and then she'll fall asleep in our arms. And she'll be asleep for about 10 or 15 minutes or so and you think you're in the clear. And then you'll put her down in her crib and then she'll start crying again. And then you'll pick her up and you'll rock her. And within 30, 60 seconds, she'll be asleep. But the hard part is I have a really hard time falling asleep in the chair that I rock her in, nor do I want to fall asleep in the chair that I rock her in. So after about an hour and a half of doing that, my wife finally came in and she took over, tried to see if she could get our daughter down. So we ended up being up from about 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. And even though I'd gone to bed about 9:30, I'd only gotten about 3.5 hours of sleep at that point. And then the alarm goes off at 4:50 and I'm up and I'm going ready to the gym. And that's what I did. I still got up and I still went to the gym. I still had a good workout. Overall, the workout, I think I went up in pretty much everything that I had been doing that day. Yes, I was exhausted, but I think back to the workout I had the day prior and the regret I would have had if I slept in and I skipped that workout. It would have been gnawing at me the entire day if I would have just not done that workout. So I knew I had to get up. I had to push through it. The last thing in the last place that I wanted to be in was the gym, and it was just feeling that resistance, but got through that workout. Then that afternoon, I had planned to do a 1 hour bike ride. For my bike, I like to do a stationary bike or a bike trainer within my garage, throw on a nice video, and just go for an hour. And I had planned to go out on the road, and I had been doing the road for quite a while. The way that I bike on the road around myself is that there's a ton of hills and there's a lot of sharp turns, and I never felt 100% comfortable just going out there and biking, where if I'm running, I can hop to the side of the road. If I'm biking and there's two cars coming and I'm going around a turn, I just don't feel that comfortable. So there's a bike trail that's near us, and I was planning on going to that bike trail and just biking around there. I was going to do 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back. It wasn't a long ride, just enough to not be in the garage using this bike trainer. And what ended up happening was our daughter, we ended up having to take her to the doctor. Her fever she ended up having a fever from teething, and it had gotten progressively worse over the night. It went from like 100, 101, 102. And obviously she can't tell us what's going on, and we want to make sure that she's okay. So we take her to the doctor. But the thing is I had planned to do this workout about 4:30. That's when the doctor's appointment was scheduled. So now I could come home, I could not do that bike workout, but at the same time I want to spend time with my daughter. So what I did is I just did a 30-minute workout, but I just made it significantly harder than the one I'm usually doing. And the way that my bike trainer is, and it's not a smart bike trainer, but it has dials. So 1 being easy resistance, 6 being the hardest resistance, and 6 it's like you're trying to push your legs, but it's like you're going up a steep hill. So that's what I was going to do pretty much the entire workout, was like I'm going up a hill just to make it harder on myself. So that way, even though I couldn't get an hour in, at least I could get this 30 minutes in. And then at the end of it, I could hop off and I could go spend time with my family. I wasn't going to go on the bike trail that's near us because I have to get in my car, load my bike up. It's about 10-15 minutes away, 10-15 minutes back, plus riding. I knew that wasn't an option. So there's going to be times when you're a hybrid athlete and you're a parent and you're wanting to get these extra training sessions in, that things are going to come up in your life that they're 100% outside of your control. Where I really wanted a good night's sleep, but our daughter had other intentions, and you can't just let her cry in her crib and be alone. And I could kind of tell on Wednesday that she wasn't feeling too good, so I'm not going to let her be on her own. I'm going to give her a little time, see if she falls back asleep, and if she doesn't, then I'm going to go in there and pick her up and start rocking her. But you can make every excuse. On Wednesday, I'm sore, I'm not going back to the track. On Thursday, I didn't get a good night's sleep. Oh, my workout got cut in half. This is where I wouldn't say what you're dealing with, but the circumstances that are going to arise when you're a father, you're a mother, and then you also have a little one, or maybe you even have a couple. Right now we just have our daughter, and I could just see how much goes into it and how much proper planning, and then even then, the best planning isn't always going to work out. Where our daughter, where I do this hybrid athlete training and I try to do it before she gets home from daycare, or try to finish up as she's getting home, then she's sent home that Wednesday morning, then she's out on Thursday, then she's out on Friday, and now I have these 3 days of doing this extra training, but now she's home with us, so now you got to rework your entire schedule. And when circumstances like this, it's like, okay, maybe I don't push myself as hard, but I still get these workouts in because I want to spend time with my daughter and I want to make sure that she's okay. So I just wanted to share those two stories with you that I encountered in the past week of being a hybrid athlete and then also being a father and some of the experiences that I've had so far. Now, to get into this episode, when we're talking about strength training and endurance, and when I was thinking about putting this episode together, I was going to go through and recommend some of my best practices and tips. And I thought it might be easier if I just walk you through the exact workout that I do every single week. I thought that would be the best scenario for me to just to go through and explain to you what I'm doing, why I do it, why I like to do it, what I don't like, what I do like. So I'm going to bring up my workout here and I'm just going to walk you through exactly what I do. So today on Monday, this is what I start off with. So I do sitting shoulder press. So I do 4 by 10. And instead of sitting on the small little seat, I sit as if you're sitting on a flat back on your bench and then you push the bench all the way up. I find that that really helps on my lower back. So I do that. Then I go into my out wide lat pull down where I'm pretty much going like pretty far out like a V. And then I'll do 3 sets of that. In this scenario, I noticed I could do 175 on the out wide lat pull down for about 6 to 8 reps. And then I could do like 160 for about 12 to 15 reps. I don't want to be doing 12 to 15 reps. So I just stay at 175. As an example, today I did 8 reps, and 7 reps. From there, I do a cable rope pull down. I'm sure you've seen that before, but I like to do that nice and slow and controlled on the cable rope pull down where I can really feel it in my tricep. After I do that, I do the isolateral front lat pull down machine. Or I shouldn't say it's machine because I put plates on it. So I'll do 120 on each side, and you basically have your arms up like this for those watching, and then you just pull it down, and then you go back up, and then you pull it down, and that's how I do it, and I find that really works my back. After that, I go in to do my dips. So I've gone back and forth on my dips. I've done body weight where I'm doing tons of reps. I've done very heavy 100-pound dips where I'm doing 1 or 2 reps. But for this instance, and where I am right now, and I'm having a little bit more focus on hypertrophy training, where I'm just looking to do 3 sets, 40 pounds of weighted dips, and then do 10 sets on each of those. Now, after that's done, I do lateral raises, and I do it like a pyramid, and I learned this from Nick Bear from Bear Performance Nutrition, where I'll do 25 pounds, I'll do 30 pounds, I'll do 35 pounds, then I'll go back down to 30, and then I'll do 25. So I have 5 sets of lateral raises where I can do like 25 for like 15, 16 reps, and then 30 I can go like 12 to 14, 35s I can do about 7 to 8 reps, and then like your shoulders on fire. I only do 30 seconds rest in between, and all these exercises that I've gone through before, I only do a 1-minute rest in between all of them. I like to just move it. I like to get through it quickly. I don't want to give myself too much time to rest. That's just my preference when I'm working out. After that, I do an arch back tricep pull down. So I basically have the weight, for those watching, up high, and then I just pull it down all the way down to my knees. I bend my knees in about 2 feet from the pulley machine, and I do like to do it nice, slow, and controlled so I can really feel it in my back and I can really feel it in my triceps. And then after that, I'll do a dumbbell row. So right now I'm focusing more on the strength aspect. So the bent over dumbbell row where I basically have my leg and arm on a bench. I have my arm down and then I pull it up like I'm starting the lawnmower. So right now I'm at about 100 pounds. I'll do 100 pounds for 5, 95 for 6, and then 90 for 9. Sometimes I might do a cable row to mix it up. Sometimes I might do other variations of a cable row depending on what's available at my gym. So I do that in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'll go through and I'll do a 5-mile run. I just like to make it just nice and easy. Like this workout, my back shot, my triceps are shot, my shoulders are shot, and then do that 5-mile run. Now my second workout of the week, I used to just do abs and then mix in a little cardio, but now I like to use it to my advantage where I like to do biceps and chest on my workout too. Not as much as I would on Friday, which is Friday is my big chest and bicep workout, but now I'm giving myself about a 48-hour buffer in between, so I feel perfectly comfortable about doing that second workout. So my ab workout is I'll do three sets of planks, and I'll do 2 minutes each of just doing a straight plank, and then I give myself a 1 minute rest in between, and then I go use our ab crunch machine, and I like to do 8 to 10 reps on that within the gym. After that, I like to do preacher curls, and I had been going up in weight on this, and I'd been doing about 85 pounds on each, and I felt as though I was plateauing a little bit, so I wanted to push myself further, so I bumped up to 95 in the last week or so. So I start off with the preacher curls, and then I'll do an incline Smith machine where I'm sitting down and I'm pushing up, and I like to have it really high inclined up so it works a lot of my upper chest. And I'll do 4 sets of about 10 on those, 4 sets of about 10 on those preacher curls, unless I'm going for more weight where I'm doing 95 pounds on that. After the incline Smith machine, I'm hopping over into the hammer curls, and just as they sound, I'm just doing 4 sets of 10 on the hammer curls, and then I'm doing Arsenal flies, where it's just the Arsenal fly machine. I'm doing 4 sets of 10 flies, so I do 2 chest, 2 bicep, and then the 2 of the abs with it. And then with the Arsenal flies, I'm going to do a superset with push-ups. I honestly thought I could be doing 25, 30 push-ups with doing these flies, but they absolutely torch my chest. So right now I'm just supersetting. As soon as I do the set, I hop down off it, and I'm doing 15 push-ups for the set, and I find that right now is really what's optimal for me. Now, after that, I should mention before hopping into our third workout, is I'll come home, I'll eat breakfast, drop our daughter off at daycare, and then I'll do about an hour bike ride on that. And again, that's my smart bike trainer, so I'm able to just use that directly from our home gym and just use that and really allow that to propel me on the bike ride in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I just go and I'll do laps in our pool. So I thought our pool was 25 meters, and I believe that it's actually shorter now. But I'll do 40 laps in our pool without stopping. It's an in-ground pool, and I'll wear a hat, I'll wear goggles, I have swim jammers that I believe that's what they're called, where I'll do 40 laps, and that is about 30 minutes or so. What I did last Tuesday is there's a triathlon club near me, about 20 minutes away, and they have an open water swim. The open water swim is a half mile, so I did that in the afternoon versus swimming in my pool. I find that anytime I can get practice open water swimming, it's significantly better. It's mentally tougher. When I'm swimming in my pool, I can see the edges. When I'm swimming in open water, and even though there's lifeguards around and there's other people around me, I'm swimming to the other end of the lake and then making basically swimming straight up and then going east and then swimming back down south. So almost like a big rectangle, but it's mentally intimidating when you're going through and you see how far away the other side is. I find the more that I push myself doing these open water swims, the more comfortable that I'm getting at it. So those are the first 2 workouts of the week. When I hop into my third workout of the week, I have been doing 4 sets of 10 with squats, but I found that my legs were getting burnt out by it. I felt as though I was plateauing. I'd been doing it for quite a while. So I did an alternative now where I use kettlebells, and I'll basically hold the kettlebell out in front of me, and I'll basically bend down until my elbows touch my knees. And right now I'm doing a 90-pound kettlebell, and I'll do anywhere from 8 to 10 reps on 4 sets on that. Then I'll go through and I'll do a sitting leg extension, and I'll do 4 sets of 8 to 10 on that. And I learned this from Nick Bare, again, from Bare Performance Nutrition, where I do a superset, where after I'm done with the first set, say the first set is 10 reps, then I just let my legs sit in that position for 20 to 30 seconds, and then I try to do some more reps, and that just absolutely destroys my legs. From there, I do hack squats or leg press, depending on what's available. I have been doing hack squats for quite a while, and then I hopped over into leg press just to do something a little bit different. After that, I'm going to do lunges with a barbell. So basically, I'll have the barbell on my back, and then I'll do a lunge. I'll go right leg, and then go left leg, then right leg, and left leg. So right now I've been doing 155 on that, and I find that by this point in the workout, my legs are absolutely torch, especially my quads. And then the remaining exercises that I like to do is I like to do the prone leg curl machine, which is really good for my hamstrings. I had been doing Romanian deadlifts for a while, but I just wanted to mix it up. So right now I'm just doing the leg curl machine at the gym. I'll do a standing calf raise machine. I find that this one really, it works phenomenal, great for the calves. And then what I like to finish it with is I used to do shoulder shrugs, but I've mixed it into doing farmer's walks. And what the farmer's walks look like is I'll do 95 pounds, or 90 pounds, I should say, in each hand. And I'll do it for 45 seconds. I set my timer and go off and I'll just walk in the back room of my gym and I'll just go until I hit that 45 seconds and drop the weight. And I find with farmer's walks, it really works your entire body, and especially that first time walking around the gym, it's a little sore, but when you get to that third set, I feel like I'm absolutely dying trying to carry these 90 pounds. All I want to do is just drop the weights, but I know I'm not gonna do it. But it is very difficult exercise to do, but I highly recommend it. And then Wednesday, like I mentioned, I do a tempo run after doing this leg day workout. And maybe it's not the best, but it's what works for me in my schedule. So for my tempo run, like I mentioned before, and just to go over it briefly again, 1 mile easy. I'll do half mile hard, half mile easy, half mile hard, half mile easy, 1 lap hard, 1 lap easy, 1 lap hard, 1 lap easy, 2 miles cool down for 6 miles total. And that's what my workout looks like on Wednesdays. Now, on Thursdays, I like to do a little bit more abs, but on Monday, you notice I did triceps, I did back, and I did shoulders. Now, I'm 2 days removed from that. It's Tuesday, Wednesday have come and gone. Now I'm going to be doing a little bit more of the shoulders, the triceps, and the back. And the way that I do this is I'll start off, initially I'll do side planks just to get some more abs in. So I'll do a minute and a half on each side, and then I'll take a minute rest doing 3 sets of that. And then I'll do 3 sets of hanging leg raises. I just do 15 reps on each, and I just try to go toe to the bar. Doesn't work out every single time, but that's what I like to try to do when I'm doing those hanging leg raises and just get my abs in. So I have 4 different ab exercises that I do in total. Now, when it comes to the triceps, the shoulders, and the back, I start off with a shoulder exercise. So I'll do a sitting military press machine at the gym, and I put the weights on it. So I'll put the barbells, or I should just mention I should put the weights on it. So I'll throw the 45-pound plates on it on each side, and then I'll do another 45-pound plate. So in each arm, I'm doing 100 pounds. And right now, that's my 1 rep max. And I just wanted to do that. I'd been stuck on 90 for quite a while, doing 4 to 5 reps. So I have 2 45-pound plates on each side of me. And that just felt phenomenal. And then I'll do 4 sets of that. I'll do 4 sets of skull crushers. That one is going to be 4 sets of 10, and really just working the tricep. Something, I don't know exactly the exercise, but I basically do a shoulder lift up with a 45-pound plate. So I'll have a 45-pound plate I'll hold out in front of me, and I'm basically holding the 2 outside ends of it, pretty straight. And then I'll lift it up over my head, and I'll just do right now up to 11 reps for 3 sets on that. So I'll do 11 reps, minute break, 11 reps, minute break, 11 reps, minute break. And I find that really works my front part of my shoulder, and I really like that exercise. And then the last exercise that I do is I like to do a mixture of it where I'm going to do bent over barbell row. And as soon as I'm done with that bent over barbell row, I'm going to do 4 sets of that. Then I'm going to hop into a superset with bodyweight pull-ups. I've done weighted pull-ups in the past, but for this particular exercise, I just do 4 sets of 10 with my body weight pull-ups. So I'll do the bent over barbell row. As soon as I'm done, I'll hop to the pull-ups and just do 10 pull-ups, and then that's done. Then I'll give myself a minute break, and then I'll do more, bent over barbell rows. Then I'll hop over and I'll do the body weight pull-ups again, and just doing 4 sets of that. And that's just a small, simple workout, but that really does help just to crush my shoulders, my triceps, and my back. Now, similar to Tuesday, there is no triathlon club on Tuesday, so I'm not doing any open water swim, but I'm going to be doing a bike ride on Tuesday, on Thursday, I should mention, not on Tuesday. Well, I do also do it on Tuesday, but on Thursday, going to do that bike ride for about an hour. Same thing, swimming in the pool, about 40 laps. And I'm thinking I want to go more than that upcoming. Probably by the time you've been listening, probably by the time this podcast is out, I'll probably be doing more than 40 laps in the pool. I'd find that 40 was good. I honestly had never done more than 24 before, so I would in my training I would do 24 laps, and then I would pause for 4 seconds. I would stand up, then I would do 2 laps, 2 laps, 2 laps, each 4 seconds in between, and then I would finish off 1 lap, 1 lap, 1 lap to get to 33 laps in total. And then what I had been doing for a little bit is I would do 24 laps, and then I would do 16 laps, or I would do 16 total laps. So 8 basically sets of that with 4 seconds rest in between to get to the 40. But the other day I did those 40 laps without stopping, and that was about 30-ish minutes or so, maybe 25 minutes. And I think I want to bump it up. Eventually my goal is to get to swimming an hour straight without having to stop, so might bump that up as the time goes on. And then my goal is what I'm going to do is once the summer is over, once our pool's closed in about another month or two, is join our local YMCA and join that gym because they have a pool, and just swim there about twice a week. So I like, again, on Thursdays I'll do those exercises, then I'm going to do the swimming, and then I'm going to do the biking. Now, when it comes to my 5th workout of the week, because I did the chest and the biceps on Tuesday, I'm going to do more of them on Friday. So the way that it looks on Friday is I'll do a dumbbell bench press. I'll do 5 sets of that. I'll do a standing dumbbell curl. I'm going to do 4 sets of that. I do a chest press machine that I really like at the gym that I really feel a good pump with. I'll do 4 sets of that. And then I'll do a hammer curl on the preacher curl machine, if that makes sense. So the machine that I use for the preacher curl, where I bend my legs and I have my arms straight out and they're basically hanging at basically like a leveled shape, or like a V shape hanging down. And then I'm curling with the bar. Now I'm going to do a hammer curl basically with a dumbbell weight on the preacher curl machine, and you can really feel that in your bicep, and it really forces it to stretch out. And then from there I'll go through and I'll do cable flies, and I really like doing the cable flies, that exercise. And then the last exercise, so this is the sixth and last exercise that I do of the week. And what I like, I've just been doing it for a while. I'm not 100% sure why I do it, but other than it's just been in my routine, so I'm just going to stick with it. But I do rear deltoid fly. I could probably throw that into a back day, but I'm going to do about 4 sets of that and then do 30 seconds rest just to make it quick. And honestly, Fridays are probably my quickest workout, where I'm in and out in probably about 45, 50 minutes, and that's perfectly fine with me because I want to have a strong emphasis on my chest and on my biceps, and I like just doing this back exercise at the end. And then what I do on Friday afternoons is I'll go and do a long bike ride. I'll do about an hour and a half bike ride on Friday afternoons, typically just doing that in the garage using the bike trainer. And then Saturday, I'll get up and I'll go do a long run. So this past weekend, I did a little under 10-mile run. Right now, I'm training for a half marathon. It's about probably about a little over 2 months out at this point. I feel like I have a good baseline, but I just want to run 13 miles in total and know that I can do it. So on Mondays, I run the 5 miles. Wednesdays, I run the 6 miles. Saturday, I do this long run where now I'm almost at 10 miles. Honestly, I wanted to do 9 miles, and I just ended up running like 9.81. I went a little further than I expected, or a lot further than I expected, where I should have turned around a little bit sooner. But I'm just going to add a mile every week, where I've been doing like 6 miles on Saturday. And then now, once I'm training for this half marathon, then it's 7 miles 2 weeks ago, then 8 miles a week ago, and then 9 miles this past week. So just going to get that up to 13, and then maybe just stay consistent and not go too much further, because I'm not training for a marathon. I'm just training for a half marathon, and that's pretty much where I want to keep it. When I was training for the triathlon on Fridays, I would do swim and biking, and then I would do the run on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I would hop in the pool again, because I the pool was one area I didn't feel 100% comfortable with, and that was an area that I knew I had to be comfortable with hopping into the water, where if I'm running and I'm biking, I can stop and take a breather for a second, but when I'm swimming, that doesn't necessarily work like that. But that's really what I recommend for my tips and endurance. Does it always work out like that perfectly every single day when having a daughter? No, it doesn't, but I hope that gave you some good insight on what it looks like for me when it comes to this strength training and doing this endurance training. And I can tell you that after training 7 days a week, taking that day off on Sunday has just been monumental for me. It was a grind to train these 7 days a week. But the reason I did that is because I knew I had this race coming up. And then I just pulled back just a little bit where I'm still doing the endurance training 6 days a week, but I just give myself the day off on Sunday to rest and recuperate. I can sleep in. I don't have to think about the exercise I'm going to be doing today. I want to continue to stick to my diet, but I'm not going to be doing any working out on Sunday. I'm just going to take that day easy. But those are my best tips when it comes to strength training and endurance training for you today. And on next episode's podcast, let me check. Perfect. I'm gonna be walking through training for a triathlon as a hybrid athlete dad, and what that's gonna look like. I'm gonna go through my entire process, how I mapped it out, how I managed the time with my daughter, what I learned early on, because I had never done a triathlon. I had been running for a little bit, but I had no idea about swimming, no idea about biking. Now I'm trying to do all of it. I'm gonna walk you through my experience and try to provide as much insight as I can for you if you're a dad out there who's also training for a triathlon.